Welcome back, and today we're in Goldtop Bigsby territory, courtesy of this guitar. It's the Stanford Guitars Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model from the brand's Crossroads series, and what I want to do in this video is take you through every aspect and facet of this guitar, and by the end of this video you should know if you need to check out one of these the next time you're at your local guitar store. Now I'll start by telling you about the specs, the features and all the info you need to know, then I'll play this guitar for you in as many different musical styles as I can possibly manage, and at the end I'll give you some of my own personal opinions about the good, the bad and the ugly with this guitar. I've had it on loan from the folks at Stanford to make this video with for a few weeks now. I've played it a lot since then and I have a lot to say about it. Now if you'd like to skip to a certain part of the video first, there's going to be timestamps in the description and the comments, but let's kick things off with the specs, the features, the info, everything you need to know about the Stanford Guitars Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model. Now Stanford Guitars, for those of you not familiar with the name, are a brand owned by the iMusic network company in Germany, in Europe. They also own brands like Maybach guitars, so they have decades of history of making great quality instruments at different price points and in different countries. Now this specific guitar here is made in China and it'll set you back €1,099, or you could go for the non-Bigsby version for €999, and price wise this sort of puts it on a par with something like a current high-end Epiphone or something like that. But when you start to look more into the specs and the features, what we've got with the Fleetwood, well, it starts to look like more and more of a bargain. Now this specific guitar is finished in a wonderful traditional gold top finish that Stanford call bullion gold. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and that look is aided by the fact that we've got a nitro finish going on here as well. That finish is starting to check already. We've got some little scratches and dents in it and it looks absolutely wonderful. Hopefully I can show that off with some photos and with some B-roll as well, but this really adds to the vibes and the aesthetic of this guitar. Now if you don't want a gold top, you can go for an amber burst, kind of a burst LP sort of a thing, or a more pure black finish as well. Now with a guitar like this you would expect a mahogany body and a maple cap going on, but we have the maple cap and we have an Akume body here. Now Akume is going to give us some benefits over traditional mahogany. It's going to sound similar to mahogany first off, but it's going to be lighter, and Stanford have also put in what they call their enhanced resonance system to this guitar. That's going to aid with the weight, and it's also going to aid with the guitar's, well, resonance. Now on the top of the guitar we've got a pair of Stanford's own PAF style traditional humbucking pickups with a three-way selector switch going on. We've got a Tune-o-matic style bridge, and we've got that Bigsby B7 vibrato tailpiece as well, and that's going to give us access to some lovely vibey, shimmery, atmospheric goodness when we're playing, and I will demo the Bigsby to the fullest of its capabilities in the musical part of the video. Finally on the body here we've got a Les Paul style scratch plate which is covered in this flowery motif. This definitely makes the guitar pop visually and it makes it look unique. You will not miss this on stage, that's for sure, but I think you're probably going to be love or hate when it comes to this. Let me know which of the two you are in the comments. But as we move around to the back of the Fleetwood, well, it looks a lot more like a traditional mahogany bodied Les Paul style of instrument. The Akume really looks like a decent slab of mahogany. Moving up to the neck, and I think this is one that Les Paul traditionalists will be very familiar and very happy with. We've got a mahogany neck here with a long tenon neck joint going on, and that's topped with a 22 fret rosewood fingerboard with these pretty cool split inlays going on. Now the frets to me feel like medium jumbos, although I can't find any specs anywhere to tell me officially what they are. I'm pretty sure they're medium jumbos. We've got a 43mm bone nut going on here. The scale length is 628mm, that's 24 3/4 inches, or Gibson scale length, and the fingerboard radius is a Les Paul friendly 12 inches. So if you like your Gibson Les Pauls, you're going to be very familiar with this neck straight away. Now in terms of the neck profile, Stanford called it a thick C, but for me personally it's more like a medium to slightly chunky C. It's nothing like a baseball bat late 50s Les Paul neck, and it's significantly thinner than the neck on my own favourite Epiphone Les Paul Traditional Pro. That said, it's a very nice and comfy neck and very, very easy to get up and down. Moving up to the headstock, we've got a pretty cool minimalist sort of headstock going on here. I think it looks very classy indeed. And on the back we've got Les Paul style Clusen tuners going on here as well. So this is the Stanford Guitars Crossroads Series Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model. It's made in China. It costs about €1,099, and what we're going to do next is make some sounds with this thing. Now my rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier with a series of my favourite pedals to spice things up. We'll use my Greer Lightspeed Organic Overdrive, we'll use my Crazy Tube Circuits Heat Seeker, and for some high gain distortion sounds we'll use my Rev G3 pedal. For some extra delay and reverb reverb, I'll switch in my Source Audio collider. Now we'll start with things pristine clean. We'll try and get some warm jazzy clean tones from the neck humbucker and see how the bridge works on the clean channel of the amp. And we'll gradually progress through the gain stages until we're in drop D, distorted madness, seeing what we can do in terms of down-tuned modern metal sounds. Now throughout, I will give the Bigsby a bit of a wobble, and I think I'll do a separate section where I really test the Bigsby to its fullest extent, and we'll hear how good the tuning stability is on the Fleetwood. Enough talk though, let's play some sounds now, and we'll speak in a bit more detail about this guitar afterwards. Okay then, so that was the Stanford Guitars Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model, and I hope you enjoyed the playing, the riffs and the tones. And you know what to do now? Please leave me a comment down there telling me what you think of this guitar. Could you see the Fleetwood replacing an Epiphone or even a Gibson in your own personal guitar collection? Or are you not quite ready for a brand like this to take its place in your own personal studio? As always, let me know your thoughts down there, and I'm looking forward to getting a bit of a discussion going. But now it's time for me to tell you my thoughts and opinions about the Fleetwood. Now, the folks at Stanford and iMusic Network were very, very kind to send this guitar to me to make this video with. I was very excited to receive it because I've tried a few Stanford guitars before. I love their semi-hollow models with P90 pickups, and well, I hadn't tried the Fleetwood in person until now. And when I got it out of the box, well, straight away I was taken in by the beautiful gold top finish and the lovely cracking that we've got going on in the nitrocellulose lacquer already. It looks like an old guitar, it smells like an old guitar, and it feels like an old guitar as well. It is a really beautiful thing to behold. And when I picked the guitar up, I was extremely impressed with the weight. This specific Fleetwood weighs in at 3.3 kilograms, which is about 7 pounds 4. Now, if you know me personally, you'll know that I like a guitar to be about 8 pounds or under. I will go over that for a good guitar and a good Les Paul specifically. Les Pauls can often be quite heavy when it comes to guitars, but this one, in this design with a Bigsby coming in at 7 pounds 4, 3.3 kilograms, that is a huge win for me, and it balances beautifully as well. And despite being so light for a Les Paul style guitar, it doesn't feel too light either. It doesn't feel like a toy, doesn't feel like it's had weird weight relief going on or anything like that. It just is a fantastic weight, and that is a huge plus point for me personally. So great first impressions out the way, I started to look at the build quality of this guitar, and it seems to be pretty much immaculate. Now, the gold top finish is beautiful on this guitar, and the nitro finish, well, it's got its imperfections, as it should, and it will get more and more of those as the time passes. It's a beautiful looking thing, and it's been applied beautifully. In terms of the rest of the build quality, well, the Bigsby is the major elephant in the room here, and this one holds tune really well, and that means that we've got a good setup going on the rest of the guitar too. Now, in terms of the neck setup, we've got a great one going on here. The frets are all really nice and smooth, action and intonation just where I would like them, nice and low, no buzzy frets or anything like that. And in terms of the electronics, everything works just as it should. So in terms of build quality, very impressed with the Fleetwood. Then we come to the playability, and this guitar, well, it plays like a great Les Paul should. We've got a lovely, comfy, semi-chunky neck going on here. I would always prefer a satin finished neck if I could get one, but there you go, with Les Pauls, you generally don't happen to get those. So the neck is a really nice feeling one. The body is just like a standard Les Paul body with a slightly more pointed lower cutaway going on. You've got decent upper fret access if you need it. It's a nice ergonomic feeling body. The Bigsby doesn't get in the way when I don't need to use it, and everything works just as it should. So it plays great. I'm a big fan of how Les Pauls play, and of course I just want to bring up the fact again that the weight on this guitar is absolutely fantastic. So in terms of playability, 2 thumbs up from me for the Fleetwood. Now let's move on to the tones, because that's the other crucial thing here. How good does this guitar sound? And we've got a pair of Stanford's own humbucking pickups here in the traditional PAF style of design. And for me personally, I think this is a really, really decent sounding guitar. I love a good thick sounding Les Paul that has oodles of clarity but loads of body as well, and that's exactly what these pickups deliver. Now, when we started on the clean channel, we went back to the neck pickup and we had some lovely warm jazzy tones, but a bit of poke and a bit of bite from the clean amp with the bridge pickup as well. And using both pickups together, you get great arpeggio tones, great funky sounds, and so on and so on. Kicking in the Source Audio Collider, adding a bit of ambience and reverb and delay, wobbling that Bigsby, we got some beautiful, wonderful atmospheric ambient indie rock tones out of this guitar. Then we kicked in the Greer Lightspeed and the Crazy Tube Circuit's Heat Seeker for some Indian alternative rock and some classic rock tones too. And what can I say? I think the pickups sound fantastic for that as well. We got some lovely thick mid-pushed AC/DC style classic rock tones, winding back to the neck pickup for some some great Hendrix style sounds as well. And for the Indian alternative rock tones that I love so much, well, these humbuckers sound great. You get nice thick mids in, but they're not super woolly in the low end either, and they retain their clarity at all times, so they're a great pickup for that style of music. As we edged up the gain using the JCM 800 setting on the heat seeker, we got some fantastic thick hard rock tones too, again with loads of precision and clarity, and some wonderful chugging punk rock and pop punk tones as well. And when we went down to drop D and we used the Rev G3 distortion pedal, well, you can cover metal basses no problem at all with this guitar. They're great humbuckers for that because they're not overly woolly and flubby in the low end. They retain their clarity throughout, and you can ring out a big distorted chord and hear all 6 of the strings. Now, in terms of the tones, again, I just want to mention the fact that the Bigsby gives you a lovely shimmering ambience whenever you need it, and the tuning stability on this Bigsby is pretty much the best I've ever had. Very much a contrast to the Harley Benton TE62 tremolo model that I tried out on this channel a few weeks ago that had some major problems, unfortunately, with the Bigsby tailpiece. No such problems with the Fleetwood. This guitar sounds wonderful, the tuning stability is great, and it is a fantastic all-round guitar in terms of its tonal performance. But if you've been watching this video and you're wondering what other Les Paul style guitars are out there, well, you're in luck because pretty much everyone makes them. I would say if you don't really need the Bigsby, you could start by trying out the non-Bigsby equipped Fleetwood. That's about €100 or probably $100 less, and it is going to be a great option as well. However, if you want to go for the correct headstock shape and so on, well, you could go for one of the modern day Epiphones because they have the Gibson headstock, and there are some great models out there in this day and age. You could also go for a used Gibson at this sort of a price point. You could maybe get something like a tribute model. You could get a used Les Paul Studio if you're lucky, and there are going to be some great options there, but try them out personally to find the one that works best for you, and crucially, the one that has the right weight for you. If you want to try some different brands offering decent single cut guitars for this sort of a price point, you could do far worse than trying out a PRS SE single cut McCarty 594. That is a wonderful take on this style of guitar. Or you could try the Larry Carlton L7 models. Those are great takes on the Les Paul style of instrument too. Or go a bit off the beaten track and try something like a Telecaster Deluxe with 2 humbuckers. Those are going to sound and perform a bit different obviously, but they're great guitars. And the Yamaha Revstar with the pair of humbuckers is also a fantastic option. And of course, this being Les Paul's, we've talked about used already, you could try something used and Japanese from the 80s or 90s. There are still bargains to be had in that sort of a world. Try out Greco or Edwards or Bernie or something like that, and you never know. Check them out in person, it's always important to do that, and you might find the guitar of your dreams. But overall, at the end of the day, well, I'm a huge fan of the Stanford Guitars Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model, and this guitar quickly shattered all of the medium sort of expectations that I had for it. As soon as I got it out of the box, well, I fell in love with this beautiful gold top and this nitro finish. I fell in love with the weight as well, and when I plugged in and started playing, this thing plays like a dream too. The tones are great as well, and I don't know what more you could want at this sort of a price point. It is a fantastic guitar, and thankfully the Bigsby stays in tune too. So it's 2 thumbs up from me, and if you ever get a chance to try one of these out, well, I highly recommend that you do so. Now, I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you may have had about the Fleetwood B7 Bigsby model, but if there's anything else you'd like to know, drop me a line down there in the comments as ever, and I shall do my best to answer you. And if you're still around, would really make my day if you wanted to give the video a like, or maybe even sub to my channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today. I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.